Good morning, Glenn Stewart.
Good morning, Sandra. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for coming to my office today.
Yes.
So I make videos to share with my audience, my clients and past clients, show them it's still working, but also to explain the process of what we do when we're buying real estate. Could be residential or commercial. And your area of expertise and your business is called The House Whisperer, and you are doing inspections, property inspections. I'm going to let you talk about what you do and the importance of those inspections.
Sure. We're a residential inspection company. We've been around since 1999, and we've done a range of inspections. Our areas from San Jose all the way up to Antioch and as far east as Tracy, so we cover a large area. Our clients range from the first-time home buyer to people that have bought several homes over the years. The commercial ranges from the mom-and-pop grocery store to many high-rises, maybe 3 or 4 stories in the large apartment buildings. My focus has always been on what we call a peace of mind inspection. Many people, they're spending a lot of money to buy the house. Their expectations are very high, and they're nervous.
Yes.
They're looking for peace of mind.
Yes.
And when we conduct a inspection, we focus on what we're doing. Our purpose is to identify the conditions on the property, but some conditions will range from a minor water leak to maybe a crack in a foundation. And so what we want to do with our clients is offer them peace of mind, so that when I'm talking about the conditions that have been discovered on the property, my inspectors are very low key. We understand that the person that's buying the house probably doesn't know too much about the actual details of a house, and we want them to have a good experience when they're using our services.
That's good.
Yes.
So when you say low-key, can you describe what you mean by low-key?
In years past, and maybe even today, there were inspectors that maybe they're over-enthusiastic about their job. They would discover that there was maybe a pipe break underneath the house and there was standing water. And when it came time to summarize their findings with the client, realtors would label them as a deal killer. Because the realtor on one hand would like to have the transaction go through.
Of course.
But maybe some individuals were making a mountain out of a molehill in the way that they were trying to explain what was going on. And when we discover something that maybe needs more attention, our approach to that is low key. In other words, an even tone of voice. From my experience, I can pretty much safely say that 99% of everything that is discovered is very common, very typical. There's always a reason for our observations that we've discovered. And so what I do with my clients, the home buyer, we walk them through step by step as to these are the ways that maybe this crack in the foundation may have developed.
Right.
And then the good news is that can be corrected by the right people.
Yes.
So that when they walk away from the home inspection, they have peace of mind knowing that it can be taken care of.
Right. There are solutions to all things. And standing water, that's common with lower elevations, sometimes even exterior and up close to the property. So those things are so important for our buyers and our sellers to understand the true condition of their property. And I wouldn't think of it as a deal killer. It's the peace of mind that the client has in knowing the true condition of the property.
Yes.
To make the decision to move forward by put those on their honey-do list or negotiate for the repairs if we're in a market that is conducive to that. In a competitive market, well, sometimes it goes on the honey-do list, mm-hmm. But knowing you can make your task list according to priority. And then your home is like your baby. You need to know everything about it. And so your your inspection overlaps the pest inspection, a little bit the roof inspection, and you're quite thorough in the whole property inspection. Can you highlight that?
So, yes, our inspections, if we can do it, always begin at the roof. So, but if it's a two-story house where our equipment won't reach, then the recommendation is that you would have a licensed roofer come out and conduct that inspection. But our inspections begin at the roof, and we work our way down the house, around the house, into the house. We'll be going under the house if there's a crawl space. We also look at the surrounding grading and drainage situations on a property within about 10 feet of the building. If we find something that warrants attention, we take a photo of it because we want to document our observations on the property. That photo is coupled with a comment. The comments all have recommendations. We discovered a leak underneath the bathroom sink. We recommend repair by a qualified handyman if we feel it's a minor repair. If it's more involved, we may say we recommend review by a licensed plumber. We work for people. The reason that people hire us is for basically peace of mind and understanding the conditions on the property. There's typically a lot of money involved in the purchase.
Yes.
And people's expectations, the buyers mainly, are very high. It's probably their largest purchase that they'll ever make in their lifetime. And so what we want to do is offer them peace of mind through our inspection. I always start out with a driveway talk where I set the tone of the inspection with a potential buyer. I always invite them to tag along with us if they would like. I tell them, though, that I can't hold a running conversation with them because I'm focused on what I'm trying to do.
Yes.
And at that point, most of them will say, no, I want you to go ahead and do the inspection. But I say at the end of my inspection, once I've had a chance to learn about the property, you and I are going to walk around together, which we do. And it's at that point I start talking about my findings. And I also let them know this is their best opportunity to ask me any questions if they don't understand something I'm talking about or whatever. And by the time we finish our final summary walk around, my client is very comfortable with what I've talked about, whether it's a minor thing or something that needs a little bit more attention.
Yes.
I also help them sort things out in our report. The reports are always sent out the same day as the inspection, sometime before midnight.
I like that.
We've done that ever since we've had the mortgage meltdown 8 years ago. A lot of contingencies have very short durations, and so we try to accommodate everybody the day of the inspection. My report's laid out so that there's the body of the report that has my photos and comments, and that's the part I always recommend the client read from cover to cover because I want them to learn about their new house that they're purchasing. At the end of my report is a separate summary section, and it really was designed for realtors, so at a glance, their realtor can quickly go down and see what needs attention. But within that summary section are 3 distinct areas that I put all my findings. The first one would be any findings that I felt would affect the client's health and safety.
Okay.
Examples of that would be...
Those are the section 1.
Section 1 is termite talk. The home inspection has health and safety concerns.
Okay.
Examples of that would be missing smoke detectors.
Okay.
Or in some cases, I've actually seen live electrical wires hanging out of a wall because somebody removed a fixture type of thing. My second classification for my findings would be repairs that would affect the day-to-day living in a house. An example of that would be if there's a leak under the kitchen sink and you don't do something about it, it's going to rot your cabinet out over time.
Yes.
And my third classification are all the other minor deficiencies, the door that rubs, or an electrical outlet that was maybe just miswired, or dirt that's up against the wood siding on the outside. These, in our opinion, are just minor concerns. And in my experience, typically the realtors and the clients will focus on health and safety because we don't want people moving into a house with conditions. And the other reason for this focus is building codes and building requirements exist for one reason only.
Yes.
People's health and safety. That's
yes.
it. There's no other reason for them. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell.
And so back to my question, what makes your inspection, the property inspection, different from the pest inspection and the roof inspection? Because you all have your own areas of expertise, and yours report is a little bit larger, so it shows a lot more detail and some crossover. So you just state something about that?
Yes, and so a separate roof inspection versus our roof inspection. When a roofer's up on the roof, he is looking at the roofing material itself and how it was installed, and maybe any penetrations, which is like a plumbing vent, exhaust vent, skylight. He's looking at how well it was sealed up on the roof, and that's pretty much the extent of his inspection. I need to go up on a roof if there's chimneys, because that is outside the roofer's expertise. The gutters typically are outside their expertise. And there's other things I look for in conjunction with the roofer. I want the home inspection to be all-inclusive, and so when it comes to the termite inspector doing their thing, their focus is on any pest-destroying organisms like beetles or termites that might damage a house. Mm-hmm. They're also focused on the other aspect of water intrusion, water damage that was caused by water. Mm-hmm. But as a home inspector, they're looking at maybe the material that got damaged. I'm looking maybe at the source of what caused the problem.
I see. So you support each other, each of your inspections.
Absolutely.
That's why the three of you are so important.
It is, especially like under bathrooms where there's a lot of plumbing. If a toilet is leaking, yes, the termite guy is going to say there's damaged flooring underneath the toilet, and they'll quote you on repairing that, whereas the home inspector will be looking to see if he can identify the actual source of the leakage. And there's many other things in that area that we would be looking at.
Yes.
So we support each other, as you said.
You absolutely do. And sometimes if the home is in really good condition, maybe newer quality, it may not require as many inspections. Well, other homes, there's a whole list of other inspections, and that their need may require more other than the three standard property, roof, and pest. There's so many more other inspections if the home has that need. And then I want to just talk a little bit before we end the pre-sale inspection and the importance to my seller to have a pre-sale home inspection. And the importance, again, for a buyer who's looking to buy property, whether it's his residential property or investment property. You do both residential and commercial. Yes. But just speaking of the pre-sale or the importance in making a large investment like that, why they would be sure to hire you for the property inspection.
So this is my opinion. If a house is newer, and I'm going to say a house that is less than 20 years old, are typically in better condition because it represents newer construction since, I'm going to say, the year 2000. The builders have really focused on building, I think, quality. There's better quality construction. There's more building requirements that have come about from earlier years, maybe in the 70s and 80s, where there were issues. But the pre-listing inspection is important, I feel, for homes that might be older than 20 years or have been rented out, or from a homeowner that really hasn't paid attention to the maintenance and repairs that just go
deferred maintenance.
hand in hand with home ownership.
Seniors are lack of funds,
yes.
or lack of the means to do the home maintenance a lot of times.
So pre-listing inspections means one thing to me: it puts more money in everyone's pocket if a pre-listing inspection was conducted. Why I say that is, if I were to come and do a pre-listing inspection and I find that there's maybe a $500 repair someplace in the house, and you take care of it in advance of putting the house on the market, when a buyer comes along and they bring their home inspector and the home inspector doesn't discover anything, there's nothing to negotiate. And negotiating at the end of a transaction like that can be expensive. So let's say in my example, the homeowner failed to replace the water heater because the water heater was leaking, but he just put the house on the market. The buyer's inspector will say the water heater needs this and that. It can be upwards of $1,000 easily to replace a water heater these days. And negotiating that at the end of the transaction, why go through the hassle?
Right.
When you maybe had spent, $300 to $400 up front to have a pre-listing inspection, you took care of the things that were on the inspector's checklist, and at the end, it just really puts more money in the pocket because you don't have to issue a credit, or you don't have to call in someone for repairs, because in my experience, the people that come out and do the repairs at the end of the transaction typically can charge on the order twice as much as they would have if let's say the seller had the opportunity to shop around and find someone that could maybe replace the water heater for $600 versus $1,000.
Yes, that would be an advantage to the seller. Another advantage is by having a pre-sale inspection is that if you don't and you wait for the buyer to do their due diligence buyer's inspections, then the seller is surprised by the findings of the buyer, and the buyer's at an advantage to negotiate the price at that point. Even if they have an offer accepted, they could negotiate down the price before they even move forward. Or if the seller is wanting to sell as is, it's an investment property, or it's a senior with not much means to make these repairs, and at least he knows the value he is selling the home. He knows the true condition of the property, and he can state his terms and look for that buyer that will meet him with those terms. So
the other thing
that pre-inspection is important. It
is very important. And then another aspect I've seen is that sellers will take a pre-listing home inspection report, and maybe this particular seller doesn't want to put any more money into the house. And so I've seen them take the home inspection report and put it on the kitchen table when the house is being sold, and they just say full disclosure.
Yes.
I guess they're obligated to fill out their own disclosure form as to what they know about the house.
Yes.
But if they had
TDS and SPQ,
a home inspector come in and issue a report, or they have this report that they can use, it actually offers, again, some peace of mind to the potential buyers that are out there that might want to look at
absolutely
what's going on with the condition of the house. They can thumb through this report and make their own decisions whether they can handle the repairs or whatever might be suggested in the report.
Yes, there are some buyers that have come in, they're all cash, or even if they have a loan approval, they know where their offer can be accepted, and they're willing to take on those repairs. They just want to close the escrow and then work their agenda, and knowing is their peace of mind as far as the buyer is concerned. Well, thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me in my office. Is there anything else you'd like to conclude?
Thanks for inviting me. I don't get that many opportunities to talk to realtors about, I feel, the importance of having a home inspection, whether it's a pre-listing inspection or it's during the buying process. There are a number of home inspection companies throughout the Bay Area. And just like in any types of businesses, there are people companies that like to work with other people. There's other companies that maybe don't offer the full services and everything. But I feel that I enjoy doing Our company enjoys doing what we do.
Right.
And
you're passionate about your business the way I am in selling property.
But I enjoy getting people into their house.
Yes.
To me, the job of a home inspection is like playing detective.
Right.
And,
it's so important to know all the details of the home or the property, even if it's an investment that you're buying. It is that after sale peace of mind that you're working for, so that everybody is happy once escrow closes and we move forward. And I'd like to sell more properties to my satisfied clients and earn some referrals too.
Yeah.
And so
I think the bottom line for me is nobody likes surprises.
Yeah, right.
Whether you're a buyer or seller.
They sometimes create disappointment, and they certainly can be more costly. But we have advocates in our business, and the affiliates are very important to the success of our sale. It takes a whole team for a successful sale and a successful close of escrow to earn us repeat business and referrals. And that works also for my affiliates. So for you make my client happy, he's going to call you back for that home maintenance to keep his home healthy. And he may give you more referrals. And I certainly would earn more referrals too from a satisfied buyer and seller. Well, thank you, and have a blessed day. We've got a great weekend ahead of us. Thank you.
Yes.
God bless
Have
you.
a great
Glenn
2016.
Stewart. The House Whisperer does his job well. And
Thank you.
I will use him in my next report, in my next inspection.
Thank you.
Yeah, my reward to you. Thank you so much. And I'm Sandra Allman with Legacy Real Estate and Associates. My CALBRE number is 011-88528. I work for Legacy Real Estate in Fremont. That is 41111 Mission Boulevard in Fremont. The zip code's 94539. We're the corner of Mission and Driscoll. And my cell phone again is 510-401-4898. My email is sallman@legacyrea.com. I want to earn your business. I'm passionate about earning your business and bringing you success in your real estate transactions. And for Glenn Stewart, I will let him tell you his contact information.
You can reach the House Whisperer at 1-800-662-8589. I have a fully staffed office that will handle your phone calls, answer all your questions. The House Whisperer, we're available 7 days a week. There's a lot of people in the Bay Area that they are working very hard Monday through Friday. They may be in the process of buying a house. And so we open ourselves up on weekends for their availability. If they can't make it Monday through Friday for that inspection, we're there for them. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a blessed day.